If Savannah, Georgia is such a dream destination, then why are thousands of people leaving every year and so many others that cannot wait to live one day? Like, what's going on? So I spent the last 3 days talking to a realtor who got clients moving out of Savannah just to find out why they're moving out. And also I went on Facebook and I found out why the local residents from here hate Savannah. And just so you know, I'm not trying to intentionally be negative about the place where I live, but I'm sure if you're from out of the state and you have plans of moving to Savannah, you're tired of just listening to the good side of the story. So this is basically that other part that a lot of articles and other YouTube videos don't tell you. Now, after watching this video, you might change your mind and not want to move to Savannah anymore. But I'll share with you some other options that a lot of people like you from out of the state are considering when choosing Savannah or the surrounding areas. So let's dive in. One of the reasons is money. Home insurance rates have increased 8 to 12% recently. But how about flood insurance? As you know, we are in the coast of Georgia and we have flooding, right? We have a lot of flood zones and some of these homeowners have seen increase up to 20% on their annual policy on the flood insurance. Another thing related to money is the housing costs and the options that homeowners have. I don't know if you knew this, but in Savannah, only 20% of the housing inventory was built after year 2000. So 80% of them is old, all right? Now, if you want to focus on the other 20% of houses that are built after year 2000, here's some bad news that I got for you. They have tiny lots for the most part. They're very close to each other. And one complaint that I hear a lot from people from out of the state is, why do they look so similar to each other? And here's what I mean. In Savannah, Georgia, we don't have custom builders building developments, okay? So if that's you want a custom home, you want something unique with privacy and space, you're not gonna find it here. You have to consider other cities or towns. Here in Savannah, we only have spec homes builders. That means they choose 5 or 6 different floor plans and they copy and paste the entire subdivision with the same houses. Now, some people decide to leave Savannah because they want something with a bigger lot. So if you're looking for land in Savannah and you want to buy more than 1 acre, there is something negative about it as well because it's hard. There is a lot of wetlands down here. I'm telling you, there is a lot of land deals right now that they fall through just because of the wetlands. I got clients in the past that wanted me to find 2 acres of land, 3 acres of land. You're not gonna find it in Savannah. You're not gonna find it even near Savannah. It's gonna be hard. And if the land is clear of wetlands, it's gonna have multiple offers and you're gonna have to be competing with a lot of people. Now, maybe you have other plans. Maybe you say, but Bruno, I don't wanna live in Savannah. I just wanna buy a property in Savannah and use it as an Airbnb because I know Savannah has high tourism the whole year. Well, let me tell you this. There is a huge waiting list of people wanting to do Airbnb. So good luck with that. You're gonna have a hard time finding it, okay, at least in Savannah. And also there is a lot of regulations and it's only getting worse, okay? Regulations on Airbnbs are not getting better anywhere. So if you have the dream of having an Airbnb in Savannah and it's gonna be easy and everyone's gonna love it, good luck. Now, another thing about money to make it even worse is something that a lot of people don't know. If you move to Savannah, there is a very high chance that you're gonna have to pay city taxes on your property and also county taxes. I've said this to a lot of people on the phone or even when they come visit me from out of the state to look at homes and they get very disappointed and they have to start considering other options, which by the way, like I said, I'm gonna mention them at the end of this video. And now that we're talking about houses, here's another detail that a lot of people complain about. And by the way, I have a personal story to tell you, okay? So I moved out of Savannah and I live right now in Bloomingdale. Now, in my house, it was nice where we live. My neighbor's house looked nice on this side. Now, if you look to the other side, it's just mobile homes, junk cars, dirt. It just looked horrible. No one maintained their property. There is a lot of places like that in Savannah, Georgia, okay? Now, here's the detail. A lot of people rather have some rules, but those rules come with HOAs. So if you hate HOAs, you don't like paying that money, like I said, it is what it is. You're not gonna like Savannah. Savannah is not for you. Now let's take another step and talk about the environment of Savannah, which by the way is a factor of why people are moving out, or some of the people that visit decide not to move down here. Summers in Savannah can be brutal. I'm telling you, if you're one of these people that sweat a lot or you just hate being hot and humid and sticky, you're not gonna like it here. I promise you, your day-to-day life will suck. if that's you. Now, on top of that, just add a little bit of mosquitoes, bugs, gnats when you're outside. Especially if you're an outdoor person, you're just gonna hate it. I promise you, you will. And I'm talking to the level of, I take a shower and I step outside for 2 to 3 minutes to go get something in my car. And when I get back to my house, all of my forehead and my face is just shiny and sweaty. Now that we're talking about weather, let's mention the hurricanes, okay? I know we are on the coast, and the good news is, by the way, we don't get hit as often as Florida and the Carolinas. By the way, we do get hit by storms, not necessarily straight hurricanes like in those places. But Savannah has experienced extreme flooding, and I'm talking about historic flooding, with some areas receiving up to 9 inches of rain in a single day, to the point where even cars are floating down the street. Now, some of the reason why people decide to leave or even not to move to Savannah is the infrastructure of the city. There's not that many options when it comes to public transportation in Savannah. For example, if you were to live in Pooler, Georgia, which is a very well-known area, okay, and let's say your car breaks down for a whole week, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to be calling Uber for a whole week, or maybe calling your friends, family members, neighbors. Hey, can you drop me off at work? Can you pick me up? There is no public transportation in those places at all. Now, to make things a little bit worse, let's talk about traffic. Yes, Savannah, Georgia is a small city if you compare it to like New York, Atlanta, but people assume that just because it's a small city, oh, traffic is a lot better. Well, let me tell you this. Savannah, Georgia has the 3rd biggest port in the United States. So that means there is a lot of semi-trucks traffic on the road all day long, every single day of the week. Now, having a big port, yes, it is a good thing for the economy and for job opportunity, but people don't tell you the consequences of that. Yes, we are small, we have low population, but just the fact that we have such a big project for a small city, it just causes a lot of problems. Now, another thing that a lot of people complain about, and I hear other people talking good things, is the airport. It is very small and it doesn't offer too many direct flight options. So if you're used to Dallas, New York, California, whatever big airports you have, wherever you're watching me from, this is not the same as that. Now let's transition and talk about the beach, which is a huge selling point, not only from the locals, but also from people wanting to move down here to Savannah. People talk about the beach, Tybee Island is beautiful, etc. But let me tell you this, if you wanted to move near the beach, be ready to spend a lot of money. Guys, the housing near the beach is extremely expensive. And even though I'm in the same county, it'll take me about 50 minutes driving from here to the beach. Now, I've personally have clients who basically want to move just because of the beach, and they tell me, hey Bruno, I'm here looking at homes, my budget is $400,000 or $350,000, and I want to be about 10 to 15 minutes away from the beach max. And I just have to smile because it's not gonna happen. So if that's you, I promise you, you're not gonna like it here. You're gonna have to move about 1 hour away from the beach, or even an hour and a half, just to be safe. Now let's talk about the weekends in Savannah. If you love restaurants or spending time with your family and you go downtown, you're gonna have a little bit of a bad time. Let me tell you why. Long waits at restaurants all the time during the weekend. Of course, unless you wanna go to dinner on a Tuesday, which probably is not gonna happen, okay? Parking lot, traffic, a lot of tourist crowds everywhere. That is one of the biggest complaints that the locals have down here. Now, you want to know another thing that all the locals complain about? The school system. Now, realtors typically don't want to tell you this, but everyone down here is aware that the school rating in Savannah is 3 out of 10 overall. Yes, we do have a few schools that have 7 and 8 rating out of 10, but the majority of them suck. The majority of them are horrible. Okay, this is common knowledge. It'll take you 2 minutes to just go on Google and find that out for yourself. Now, if you have some extra money and you want to spend some money on private schools, then go for it. Or you can consider one of the other towns that I'm about to mention at the end of this video. Now, how about the crime and safety? Check this out. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people are moving out of Savannah, and I'm about to read it to you. The crime rate in Savannah is considerably higher than the national average across all communities in America. Then later it says the chance of becoming a victim of either violent or property crime in Savannah is 1 in 45. Based on FBI crime data, Savannah is not one of the safest communities in America. Relative to Georgia, Savannah has a crime rate that is higher than 74% of the state cities and towns of all sizes. Now, if that doesn't change your mind, I don't know what will. Now, like I promised you, I want to share with you some other options that you should consider if you're planning to move into Savannah, but you don't necessarily want to be in the city. Number one, I would just go to other places such as Pooler, Georgia, okay? Pooler, Georgia is the #1 area in the whole county in terms of the amount of people moving. Basically, sales volume, all right? Now, the other city that has great schools and is safer than Savannah, it is Richmond Hill. Now, Richmond Hill is part of another county, right? It's called Bryan County. They have one of the best school districts down here. The third place you should consider is called Ellabell, Georgia. Now, that one is part of the same county as Richmond Hill. So they do have better schools than Savannah, and also they have more land. The houses are a little bit more separated from each other. Number 4 is Rincon, Georgia. Now, I mentioned earlier the Port of Savannah with a lot of traffic. Rincon, Georgia is near the Port Wentworth area, right? But it is on another county, meaning different school districts, okay? Safer, less crime, lower population, and all of that. Right after Rincon, I would consider Guyton, Georgia, okay? Guyton and Rincon are next to each other. Like I said, it's a little bit country, less population, you have more land, you can find a huge house a lot cheaper than in Savannah, and they have better school districts too. Now, I want to clarify something real quick. When I mentioned Pooler, Georgia, just so you know, Pooler, Georgia is in the same county and they don't have great schools, but they do have better housing. When I'm saying better housing, I mean you're closer to all the shopping area, and also they look more modern, okay? They don't look too old. The majority of them are built after year 2000. Now, if you're looking for land to build your custom home, I personally would consider Midway, okay? Midway have very low population. It is right after Richmond Hill, Georgia, but also you're close to Hinesville, Georgia, okay? Hinesville, Georgia and Savannah are like the biggest cities right there. So you have plenty of options to choose from. You're very close to Richmond Hill, close to Savannah, close to Hinesville. So I think it's a good location, but it's just not developed yet. It just feels country. Well, there you have it, guys. If you're planning to move into Savannah, you can contact me directly to this phone number on the screen. I'm Luis Bruno with eXp Realty, and I've been living here for 9 years helping people like you buy their homes, okay? So see you guys next time.